On the news tonight, Boko Haram issues 72-hour ultimatum, warns federal government over forceful rescue of 416 Borno captives. Southwest PDP dismisses impeachment plot against Governor Makinde. Father shoots 7 biological children dead in Louisiana. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the news around the world. I am Boluwaji Ogumola, and on the sign language corner is Korede Oluleye. Boko Haram terrorists have released a video daring the Nigerian government to attempt a forceful rescue of 416 abducted victims in Borno State. This is as it was warned that if their demands are not met within 72 hours, the victims would be taken to different locations where they may never be seen again. According to a video obtained by newsmen in the early hours of Monday, the group said it welcomes any attempt by the government to rescue the victims by force. The terrorists, dressed in military camouflage, stated that they are battle ready if the government chooses force instead of meeting their demands. However, the group did not state its demand in the video, but earlier, the group had demanded 5 billion naira on Sunday night for the release of the victims. Meanwhile, bandits that abducted residents of Ariko community in Kachia local government area of Kaduna State are demanding 1 billion naira as ransom before they are released. The villagers were abducted on Easter Sunday during the attack, and some residents were killed, throwing the community into mourning and fear. A statement issued on Monday by the chairman and secretary of concerned Ariko youths, Linus Audu and Kefas Likita. The group described the incident as a tragic assault on innocent worshippers during a solemn period of reflection. The youths noted that the incident has created a humanitarian crisis in the community, with families left traumatized and uncertain about the fate of their loved ones, describing the 1 billion naira ransom by the bandits as outrageous and impossible for the rural community to meet. The group, however, called on Kachia local government authorities to urgently collaborate with security agencies and provide immediate support to affected families. They also appealed to the Kaduna State government to deploy adequate security measures to ensure the safe rescue of the victims and urged the federal government to intensify efforts in tackling banditry across the country. Residents of 2 communities in Plateau State have again been thrown into mourning following coordinated attacks that left at least 6 people dead and several others hospitalized. The incident, which occurred in Shanun community in Riam local government area and Hurum in Gashish district of Brakin Ladi local government area, have ignited concerns over persistent insecurity in the region. Speaking to newsmen via telephone, the publicity secretary of the Berom Youth Mothers Association, Tengong Ruang, disclosed that the attacks happened separately on the same night, with assailants reportedly arriving on foot and armed with sophisticated weapons. According to him, 4 persons were killed in Hurum, while 5 others sustained injuries and are currently receiving treatment. In Shonun, he said that 2 people were confirmed dead, with 3 others hospitalized following the attacks. Ruang alleged that prior to the incident, residents of Shonun had raised alarm over the influx of unknown herders into the area. A development, he said, was reported to security agencies without any visible response. Controversy has continued to trail allegations by the World Bank suggesting that a significant portion of Nigeria's revenue may be lost through deductions and leakages within the public finance system. Staff reporter Bemisola Adebayo examines the developments and its implications on the nation's economy.
According to the Nigeria Development Update released in April 2026 by the World Bank, concerns have been raised over substantial revenue leakages in Nigeria's fiscal framework. The report alleges that about 34.53 trillion naira, representing roughly 41% of total Federation's revenue, was not remitted to the Federation's accounts between 2023 and 2025. The report further indicates that, although gross revenues recorded notable increases within the period, extensive deductions at source and what it describes as a complex fiscal structure significantly reduced the funds ultimately shared among the three tiers of government. These revelations have sparked widespread reactions among Nigerians, many of whom view the figures as indicative of deep-rooted inefficiencies and possible mismanagement of public funds that could otherwise be channeled towards critical national development. However, the federal government has dismissed the claims, describing them as a misinterpretation of Nigeria's public finance architecture. Authorities insist that the deductions, often perceived as leakages, are legitimate and form part of established fiscal operations coordinated by the Federation Account Allocation Committee. According to government officials, such deductions include statutory transfers, cost of collection charges, security-related expenditures, and approved refunds to government agencies, all of which are captured within existing legal and administrative frameworks. A financial expert, Mr. Tunji Adepeju, also weighed in, noting that recent policy reforms, including Executive Order 9, have strengthened accountability mechanisms and curtailed many of the leakages previously associated with the system.
In recent times, with the Executive Order 9, the federal government and the president are now directed that whatever you generated, put it in the account. Whatever you now think you have spent, bring it up. We'll all discuss it and agree. So that is the way it is. So whoever is commenting on leakages, that must have been in the past. Not now. Everything now goes to the Nigerian Revenue Service. These are the reforms that have been taking place in the last probably 1 or 2 years, which we should commend and not be living in the past when things were done wrongly.
On the other hand, Labour leader and agricultural economist Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiran expressed concern that certain revenues may still remain undeclared or retained outside official channels, thereby limiting the full financial capacity available for national development.
There are retentions that are supposed to be declared that were not declared. It is only what was declared that will go to the NRS. But IMF was now saying those retentions are high, that more money was coming in. And the more the money, the more the retention. Like collection fee. That collection fee is a percentage of, I think, 4% of whatever was collected. Now look at 4% of 1 billion and 4% of 1 trillion. So what the IMF is saying is that rather than dealing with percentage, they can deal with a fixed collection fee because more money is now coming in. And that money that is being retained is reducing the fiscal space for project implementation.
As the debate continues, the issue underscores the urgent need for greater transparency, stronger institutional oversight, and improved public understanding of Nigeria's fiscal processes. Bemsola Adebayo, BCOS News.
The United States mission has reaffirmed its strong partnership with Nigeria, highlighting deep cooperation across security, trade, health, education, and cultural exchange. In a statement on the mission's X handle on Monday, the mission said both countries continue to share enduring ties that support mutual prosperity and development. The statement underscored the importance of ongoing collaboration between both countries in addressing regional and global challenges, particularly in areas such as security cooperation and economic development. It noted that the relationship between both nations extends beyond government-to-government engagement, reflecting strong links between citizens' institutions and private sector actors. The reaffirmation comes as both nations continue to engage on issues including counter-terrorism cooperation, trade facilitation, educational exchange programs, and public health initiatives. Officials says the long-standing relationship remains a key pillar of Nigeria-US engagement in Africa and beyond. We shall now take a short commercial. Please don't go away.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead demands peak performance from our bodies.
Like never before, our bodies need an optimum supply of essential nutrients, and Supermalt supports our daily nutritional needs.
Supermalt has 20 essential vitamins, minerals, and natural extracts for overall health and wellness. One Supermalt a day gives you energy and vitality, improves your mental performance, and supports your immunity.
The Southwest Zonal Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has dismissed speculations of an impeachment plot against Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, describing the claims as baseless and a calculated attempt to create political tension. This position was contained in a communique issued at the end of the committee's meeting held at the PDP Southwest Secretariat, Soji, at Dagondo House, Old Ife Road, Ibadan. Details are presented by the Governor's Office correspondent, Olalekan Sulaiman.
Presenting the communique, the Zonal Publicity Secretary, Southwest Zonal Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Chief Sanya Atofarati, condemned remarks made by former Ekiti State Governor, Ayodele Fayose, describing them as reckless, divisive, and capable of inciting tension, particularly through what he termed the politicization of traditional institutions. The committee commended Governor Seyi Makinde for his consistent efforts in strengthening multi-party democracy, noting that his administration has continued to demonstrate stability, focus, and commitment to delivering democratic dividends to the people of Oyo State.
PDP is our party, and whatever happens, like I have said to you, this is family, a very big family. So PDP remain, and we are not considering any alternative platform. Not at all. This is PDP, but we are optimistic that we'll get judgment, favorable, positive judgment at the Supreme Court. I will tell you that the APC is doing everything possible to ensure that the PDP does not have candidates. I am putting this challenge to Tinubu. He should exonerate Amupito from partisan politics. And Amupito himself should save Nigerians of the neutrality picture that he is trying to paint. So what is important here is that
it called on citizens to remain calm, vigilant, and united while rejecting attempts by political actors to foment crises for personal gain. The zonal body further pledged its support for the party's National Working Committee, NWC, reiterating its commitment to unity, discipline, and cohesion within the party.
We also commend His Excellency for his dogged and consistent effort in sustaining and strengthening multi-party democracy in Nigeria. The rumored impeachment plot against the governor is baseless, contrived, and should be disregarded in its entirety. By well-meaning Nigerians, it is nothing more than a calculated attempt to create unnecessary political tension in the state.
The party appreciated Nigerians for their resilience and continued support, assuring them of its dedication to responsible leadership and improved governance. Olalekan Sulaiman, BCOS News.
The Oyo State government has hinted that more than 18,000 participants, including diplomats, traditional rulers, international tourists, and cultural stakeholders are expected at the 2026 World Egungun Festival. The State Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Wasiu Olatunbosun, made this known during a press conference held at the Cultural Center, Mokola, in Ibadan. Details are once again presented by the Governor's Office correspondent, Olalekan Sulaiman.
Addressing journalists, the State Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Dr. Wasiu Olatunbosun, said that the state government is repositioning the Egungun tradition to meet global standards while preserving its cultural heritage. He noted that efforts are underway to attract tourists, investors, and sponsors to the festival. According to him, the two-day event scheduled for May 1st and 2nd, 2026, is being organized by the Ministry of Culture and Tourism in collaboration with other cultural stakeholders. He described the festival as a strategic platform for revenue generation, cultural preservation, and enhancing the state's international profile.
We are also going to have awards and prizes ranging from most spectacular, colorful, entertaining, dexterous Egunguns, colorful, creative, and most popular stakeholders, cultural gold, will be given out. Apart from giving prizes to Egunguns, the other category of prizes will go to groups. Orisaseyi Omi Makinde, that you call Seyi Makinde, is expected to be the special guest of honor alongside the Honorable Minister for Culture and Tourism, Anato Musawa, with the Olubadan of Ibadan, His Imperial Majesty, Oba Kabiyesi, Senator Rashid Adewolu Ladoja.
Representatives of partnering organizations, in their goodwill messages, said a symposium to be held as part of the festival will address the theme, tradition, tension, and transformation, focusing on how the Egungun tradition is adapting to the digital age and global audience. Organizers also announced that Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, will serve as special guest of honor, alongside the Minister of Art and Culture and Tourism, Anatu Musawa. The Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja, is expected as the royal father and the chairman of the occasion. Olalekan Sulaiman, BCOS News.
Nigerians have been urged to adopt a more proactive approach to disaster prevention as experts warn against the growing culture of indifference to emergency preparedness. This formed the focus of discussion on BCOS Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120, with stakeholders emphasizing the importance of heeding early warnings from relevant agencies. Our reporter, Fidora Afolagboye, who monitored the program, reports.
Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has continued to strengthen its capacity to deliver timely and accurate weather forecasts aimed at safeguarding lives and property. These forecasts are critical to disaster preparedness, providing guidance for government response and enabling citizens to mitigate risk associated with adverse weather conditions. Speaking on AM 120, the Head of Operations, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Southwest Ibadan Office, Kadri Olaiwaju, explained the NIMET's prediction are science-based, relying on observed meteorological data. He noted that such forecasts go beyond flooding to include thunderstorms and strong winds, urging residents, particularly those in low-lying areas, to be vigilant and proactive, as such locations remain highly vulnerable to flooding. He added that relocation from flood-prone areas remains the most effective preventive measure.
We've had a major disaster in Osun. I think it was around March 28, where we have a very strong windstorm. Wow. Where we have a very, very windstorm that impacted a lot of houses. Many story building roofs were blown off. Even actually, we recorded a death, and some people were hospitalized. So the issue of disaster is not limited to flooding alone, because the wind system has been terrible. As a matter of fact, the destruction in Osogbo was massive. Schools, hospital, churches, mosques were blown up.
Also contributing, the immediate past chairman of the Nigerian Institution of Environmental Engineers, Oyo State Chapter, Professor Wasiu Ajagbe, clarified the NIMET's predictions are not designed to create panic, but to serve as early warning signals for preparedness. He stressed that while waste generation is inevitable, indiscriminate disposal significantly increases the risk of flooding. Professor Ajagbe therefore called for sustainable waste management practices, including recycling and conversion of waste into useful resources.
The same volume of rain can fall in 1 hour. That same volume can as well fall within 5 minutes. When it falls within 5 minutes, if you have designed drainage to convey the particular amount for 1 hour and it falls within 5 minutes, obviously it's going to overflow that drainage. And then when water flows outside the provided region, we talk about flood. So we are particularly interested in designing facilities to accommodate the flood and also design against the possibility of the eventual consequences of flood when they happen, to prevent and to take care of when it happens.
But experts appeal to the public to regularly clear drainage channels and desist from dumping refuse in waterways as part of collective efforts to prevent flooding and protect lives and property. Fedora Afalagwe, BCOS News.
Another time out on the news. Please stay tuned.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys!
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria. Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on. Malaria gone.
Retired personnel of the Nigeria Police Force and their families today blocked the gate of the presidential villa in Abuja, protesting their continued inclusion in the contributory pension scheme, which they described as fraudulent, illegal, inhuman, and obnoxious. The protesters under the Police Retired Officers Forum of Nigeria called on President Bola Tinubu to assent to the police exit bill passed by the National Assembly in December 2025 and transmitted to the presidency in March 2026. Leading the protest, the national coordinator of the forum, CSP Raphael Ironuwab, retired, said the demonstration was aimed at urging the president to take immediate action on the legislation. He lamented that while other security agencies, including the State Security Service, the Air Force, the Navy, and the National Intelligence Agency have been removed from the scheme, police personnel remain included. The protest highlights growing dissatisfaction among retired police officers over pension reforms and their continued exclusion from benefits granted to other security agencies. A special golf kitty has been held in Ibadan in honor of the Secretary to the Oyo State Government, Professor Musiba Babatunde, following his recent appointment as the state's Chief Administrative Officer. The event, hosted by the Tiger Golf Club, Odogbo, attracted friends, associates, and well-wishers from various sectors who gathered to celebrate what they described as a well-deserved elevation. Staff reporter Adebayo Abdurrafiu was there to bring the details.
The atmosphere was filled with tributes and commendations for the celebrants. Secretary to the Oyo State Government, Professor Musiba Babatunde, whose career spans academia and public service.
That was a nice thing, sir.
Speaking at the prize presentation, captain of the Tiger Golf Club, Muyiwa Omitowoju, highlighted Professor Babatunde's humility and exemplary character, describing him as a gentleman whose achievements continue to inspire many.
He's a wonderful individual. He joined the club, I think, about 2 years or 3 years ago, and he's made a very notable impact in the club. And with this achievement of his, I think it's something worth celebrating.
Delivering a goodwill message, captain of the Ibadan Golf Club and former captain of the Tiger Golf Club, Reverend Father Joachim Ake, extended congratulations on behalf of members, describing the celebrants' transition from academia to public administration as remarkable. The personal assistant to the Oyo State Governor and close friend of the celebrant, Alhaji Hakeem Aziz, who lauded his academic and political trajectories, said Professor Babatunde's commitment to excellence in all aspects of human endeavors is exemplary.
We've been friends, before we came into government, and I believe I have learned a lot from him, especially his humility and God-fearing. He's one of the very few top echelon in government that will constantly remember to pray as at when due.
Members of the planning committee, including pharmacists Lanre Tiamiyu and Taufik Odukoya, alongside Mr. Adebayo Drodola, commended the Oyo State government for recognizing Professor Babatunde's leadership qualities, noting that his appointment reflects foresight in governance and merit-based selection.
He has been somebody of impact, easygoing, lover of the people, hardworking, great economist, and he stands for a lot of good virtues.
And ever since we've become best of friends, we play golf together and we also relate together in a lot of spaces, trying to actually ensure we impact Oyo State as a state.
I'm doing my PhD in energy economics in Ibadan, and is at the core of the progress that I am making at it. And such individuals, regardless of the political office or the achievement they've made in life, are people that are worth celebrating at every opportunity that you have gotten.
Responding, Professor Musiba Babatunde expressed appreciation to Governor Seyi Makinde for the confidence reposed in him to serve in different capacities. He said the recognition will further motivate him to contribute meaningfully to the development of Oyo State. The celebrant, who described the event as a pleasant surprise, also commended his friends for organizing the tournament in his honor, noting that the discipline and ambience of the club have encouraged his interest in golf as a sport.
Golf itself is an exciting game that is quite tasking in terms of your concentration, in terms of being calculative and enhancing your cognitive ability, which actually makes people to say that golf is life, that enhances consistencies, that enhances your focus as well as your commitment in being able to achieve certain goals and objectives.
In his remarks, the competition secretary of the club, Jenyo Olajide, applauded the high level of participation and professionalism displayed during the tournament, while the second vice captain, Sharafaddin Sani, called for the institutionalization of the kitty as an annual event in honor of Professor Musiba Babatunde. The competition featured 56 players, with veteran architect Olukayode Fakunle, Mrs. Grace Ojetade, Mrs. Shade Ajala, Femi Olusegun, and Monday Steven emerging as prize winners in various categories. Idenhe Festus clinched the overall winners trophy. Adebayo Abdurafi, BCOS News.
Online application for the Nigerian Army Recruitment Exercise 91 regular recruits for tradesmen and non-tradesmen has commenced and will close on the 17th May this year. According to a release by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Musiba Babatunde, the application form is free and available online at recruitment.army.mil.ng. According to the statement, all qualified applicants will be screened and shortlisted to attend the physical screening exercise at the State Recruitment Center at Dekunle Faji Cantonment, Ojo, Odogbo, Ibadan. Interested male and female indigents of Oyo State who wish to apply have therefore been advised to obtain Oyo State Indigenship Certificate at Room 53, Governor's Office Secretariat, Ibadan, or Liaison Office at Abuja and Lagos to confirm that they are bona fide candidates of Oyo State origin. The management of the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, BCOS, paid a condolence visit to the family of late Bukola Akintade, a Yoruba newscaster, and described her demise as a huge loss. BCOS reporter Fedora Afolaboye has the details.
The BCOS management team was at Olodo residence of Mrs. Bukola Akintade to pay condolence to the family of the deceased. During her address at the visit, Chief Mrs. Dotun Olaiton, the chairman, commended the family's resilience, stating that all occurrences are by divine will. She portrayed the late Bukola Akintade as a dedicated and energetic broadcaster who demonstrated immense commitment in all facets of her work and life. Chief Olaiton emphasized that the deceased was a valued member of the BCOS family beyond merely being a staff member, whose departure has created an unbridgeable gap. She noted that her death came as a rude shock and emphasized that she would not be forgotten anytime soon.
Because very active in everything, in our job, in every aspect of life.
Similarly, the Director of Administration and Supplies, Pastor Abiola Olawale, offered prayers for the family, beseeching God to grant them the fortitude to endure the irreparable loss.
Amen.
Responding, the family members conveyed their sincere appreciation to the management for their visit and support, as management members also signed a condolence register writing tribute in honor of the late Bukola Akintade. Fedora Afolagwe, BCOS News.
May our soul rest in perfect peace. We now join Victor Opune for the latest sport news.
A warm welcome to you on the sports segment of the news tonight. I am Victor Opune.
We start with the news that Jack Rapaz withdrawn from this week's Madrid Open and will also miss next month's Italian Open because of a knee tendon injury. The 24-year-old did not play in the Monte Carlo Masters either and retired from his only clay court match of the season in Barcelona as a result of the problem. That tournament was just a photo of his comeback from bone bruising, which, by one match at the US Open, kept him off the tour since Wimbledon. The French Open begins in Paris on 24th May, but Rapaz is considering playing an ATP event in either Hamburg or Geneva the week before. The 2024 US Open semi-finalist retired from his first-round match in Barcelona when trailing Thomas Martin Echeverry 4-1 in the deciding set. Struggling with his movement, the physio had applied tape to an area below his right knee before the final set began. He also wore tape on the knee at times in Indian Wells in early March, where he beat Novak Djokovic and rose to the quarterfinals. Rapaz had a lot of ranking points to defend in Madrid and Rome. He reached his first clay court final in Madrid last year, losing to Casper Ruud, and followed that with a run to the quarterfinals in Rome. We continue in football where violent clashes between fans and police caused the abandonment of a match between the two top sides in Paraguay. Hundreds of spectators escaped onto the beach as police fired rubber bullets and tear gas into the stands at the Super Clásico played between Olympia and Cerro Porteño, both based in the capital city Asunción. According to witnesses, the trouble began when firecrackers were detonated in the section of the Defensores del Chaco Stadium, which was allocated to Cerro Porteño supporters. The police detained around 100 people, and while it was not immediately clear whether any fans had been injured, security forces reported that at least 6 officers were hurt, with one in a serious condition. 6 points separates league leaders Olympia and second place Cerro Porteño, who won the Torneo Clausura in 2025, at the head of Paraguay's top flight, the Defension de Honor. The Paraguay Football Association, APF rules state that the game must be forfeited by the side whose supporters forced a suspension. Olympia President Rodrigo Negues said the club will seek 3 points from the APF disciplinary tribunal, while Cerro Porteño President Blas Reguera claims that Olympia as hosts were responsible for stadium security. And we wrap up with the news that legendary former player Gheorghe Hagi is set to take over the Romanian national team at an important moment for football in the country. It all happened at the Romanian Football Federation's official press conference earlier today, which was also attended by Razvan Băleanu, president of the federation, together with Mihai Stoichita, the technical director. Negotiations between the federation and Hagi have come to an end, with the former international great being the main option to fill the post left vacant after the death of Mircea Lucescu, who took over the national team in August 2024. This is Hagi's second spell in charge of the Romanian national team after his tenure from September 1st to November 27, 2001. Installed immediately after retiring as a player and in his first coaching experience, Hagi lasted only 3 months, ending his tenure immediately after missing out on qualification for the 2002 World Cup after he won 2 and 1-0 playoff draw with Slovenia. In his coaching career, Hagi has also managed Bursaspor, Galatasaray, Timisoara, Steaua Bucuresti, Viitorul Constanța and Farul Constanța. His record as a coach includes 2 titles with Viitorul and Farul, a Romanian Cup with FC Viitorul, a Romanian Super Cup with FC Viitorul, and a Turkish Cup at Galatasaray. Hagi succeeds Mircea Lucescu, whose contract expired on April 2nd.
Thank you for joining us. It's a wrap on the sports segment of the news. Over now to the main desk for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Victor Opune. Now to the foreign scene. A father has killed 7 of his children and an unrelated child in the United States city of Shreveport, Louisiana, in a mass shooting that police have called a domestic disturbance. Foreign desk editor Folashade Akintola compiled the story and others as presented by Khadija Lawal.
Officers said the shooting began about 5 o'clock, that is 10 o'clock GMT on Sunday, after attacking the children at a property. The suspect drove away in a stolen car, police said. Officers then chased and killed him. 2 adult women, including the children's mother, are in critical condition after they too were hurt by gunfire, and a 9th child was taken to hospital after jumping from the roof of the home while escaping. The suspect was identified as Shama Helkins, Shreveport's Mayor Communications Director told the press. Officials have not yet suggested a motive on the gunman's part. 3 boys and 5 girls aged between 3 to 11 were shot and killed, the coroner's office said. The attack occurred across multiple locations. The father is alleged to have first shot a woman before moving to a second location where he fired further shots at the children. Meanwhile, a strong magnitude 7.5 earthquake has struck off northern Japan, prompting authorities to issue a tsunami warning for waves of up to 3 meters, that is 10 feet. The quake hit on Monday at 4:53 p.m. local time, that is 7:53 GMT, in waters of Iwate Prefecture on Japan's Pacific coast, according to Japan Meteorological Agency, JMA. It was felt across a wide area, shaking buildings in Tokyo, hundreds of kilometers to the south. The JMA warned that the first tsunami waves could reach parts of the northern coastline immediately. Live footage from public broadcaster showed no immediate signs of damage at several ports in Iwate. Prime Minister Sane Takeichi said the government had set up a crisis management team and was working to assess the impacts of the earthquake. She added that officials were still trying to confirm whether there had been any casualties or damage to property. And lastly, Russian authorities say they have thwarted a Ukrainian-linked bomb plot against security services and arrested a German woman found with a makeshift bomb in her backpack. Russia's FSB security agency said the unnamed woman was detained on Monday in the southern city of Patygorsk. In a statement cited by Russia's state-run news agency, the FSB said it had prevented a terrorist attack planned by the Kyiv regime against a law enforcement facility in the Stavropol region involving a German citizen born in 1969. It said the woman had been recruited by a citizen from a Central Asian country who was working on orders from Ukraine. According to the FSB, the device contained an explosive charge equivalent to 1.5 kilograms, that is 3 pounds, of TNT and was intended to be detonated remotely. The agency said the blast was ultimately prevented by electronic jamming. Video of the purported arrest published by Russia's state RII Novosti News Agency showed armed Russian security agents approach the woman as she was face down in a car park. Khadija Lawal, BCOS News.
To end the news around the world, here again are the main points. Boko Haram terrorists have released a video daring the Nigerian government to attempt a forceful rescue of 416 abducted victims in Borno State. The Southwest Zonal Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has dismissed speculations of an impeachment plot against Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, describing the claims as baseless and a calculated attempt to create political tension. We also told you that a father has killed 7 of his children and an unrelated child in the United States city of Shreveport, Louisiana, in a mass shooting that police have called a domestic disturbance. BCOS website is live. Kindly visit www.bcostv.com. You can reach us on GoTV channel 134 and channel 113 on Star Times. Now, before I go, don't join hoodlums in threatening the peaceful coexistence of the country. It is only in an atmosphere of peace that development thrives. That ends the news.